Hi Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. Welcome to your Pluto Retrograde reading. We're going to pull some cards. We're asking, what are we transforming with this moon, with this transit of Pluto Retrograde until October? What are we transforming? What is the advice to keep in mind for the next few months until October 2nd? And what can we expect? What can we look forward to as the outcome of this transformation? Okay, Sagittarius. Transforming some big stuff here. I'll show you the cards in a minute. I'm just getting the story. Intense. Let me get one more card on that. Not sure where that fits in. This is an interesting reading. Sagittarius and Sagittarius rising. Making me think. Okay. That's good. I don't know. Okay. All right. Okay. I think I'm done. Let's look at this really quick. Alright, so for what you're transforming, we have Strength reversed. We've got the Two of Swords. It's called mental conflict on here. It's also sometimes a difficult decision. And then we've got the Five of Swords. Five of Swords is rough. So we're transforming this, coming from a place of perhaps not feeling strong, not feeling in our power. Definitely some pretty intense mental struggle going on, right? So this is where the transformation begins. I feel this is partly about taking your power back, Sagittarius, and partly about transforming the way you're thinking. So that being said, we've got some intense stuff coming in. The advice here, I got 4 advice cards here for you, because I don't know. I'm trying to get the story. So, 2 of Cups. So if you have a partner or a close friend who's your kindred spirit, reaching out to them and finding some balance there with them. This is also an emotional balance card and sometimes a decision card, but it's very much, to me, like you're gonna find some help through all of this, through reaching out, through, as the card says, spiritual union, emotional connection. So 7 of Swords. The advice here, I think, don't get caught up in other people's bullshit. I think that's important. If people are lying to you or hiding things from you or being shitty because ultimately they're jealous or something, the advice here, that's not your shit. Don't worry about that. Don't get caught up in it. And, if I'm getting the feeling this is like kind of just, don't worry about other people's dark shit, you know? People are, all of us are going through these ups and downs. Not everyone's in a great place with it. Not everyone's doing their work internally. So that's the vibe I'm getting. If this is you, I think that the advice here is to stay in your truth and to face any ugly thoughts you're having and be honest with yourself about them. Seven of Cups, you have a lot of opportunities, a lot of directions you could go in. Um, the advice here is usually to take a moment and like really look at all of your choices and follow your heart. And Ace of Cups with the Two of Cups, definitely emotional connection, connecting with the people you love is going to help you through this transition. Outcome. This is kind of the most interesting outcome I've gotten so far in these readings. So the first card, we've got the Four of Wands. So I really love that for what you can look forward to. What you can look forward to with this. The Four of Wands coming into a really nice place spiritually, creatively, balance. The fours are all about balance, bringing things back into balance. So I think that's really nice. We also got the eights. We got two eights here, Eight of Swords and Eight of Cups. So, I think as with all major mental transformation, things in the realm of swords, like this is your transformation here. You are flipping, you're coming back into your power, you're coming back into your strength, okay? From a place where you felt rather powerless, coming from this mental, intellectual struggle, and honestly depression. There's gonna be some ups and downs with a transformation like that. So I think, we've got the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Cups. There's what I see like a period of just withdrawing a little bit into yourself and really processing all of it. And I think the advice with the Eight of Swords is just don't get stuck there, don't get stuck there. The Eight of Cups, take that time to process, but don't get stuck in that Eight of Swords. You've done a lot of work, Sagittarius, and it's paying off, because the final card, we got the Three of Wands, which I just think is lovely. It's togetherness, it's partnership, it's collaboration, it's creative collaboration, it's that fire energy that you love to be in as a Sagittarius. So I see this as a really good transformation. I do see some turbulence. Not necessarily the easiest. I really urge you to check in your chart. If you need help finding it in your chart, just comment below. I'll help you find it. I am going to make a video on how to do that. But I recommend with this was kind of an intense reading. I didn't expect it to come out that way. So I would just recommend checking to see what house, and also keeping in mind that these retrogrades are not necessarily life-shattering. They're not necessarily going to just rip everything apart. It's not necessarily so dramatic. Sometimes it's more subtle. Sometimes it's internal. And this is a long ongoing transit, you know. Pluto is slower moving, so we're in this retrograde until October 2nd. So, you know, I think keeping with the advice of reaching out, getting the emotional connections, not retreating too much into yourself is going to be important. So, comment below. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how this shift is going for you so far. I feel like that's when it's choppiest. So over the next few weeks could be the more of the roller coaster part of it, I think. At least that's how I'm experiencing it. And hang in there. It's gonna get good. You know, that 3 of Wands is great and that's coming. So hang in there and let me know how you're doing. Check in with me. I love to hear from people. And I love you, Sagittarius. I love all of you. Mwah. I really do. You're